Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fantasycraft The Last City, Part 13. I am your host and GM for this evening, Austin Ramsey. My pronouns are he and him. You can find me on Twitter at NotAnIn. And as always, this stream is presented by You Don't Meet in an Inn, an actual play podcast about exploring obscure tabletop role-playing games with a diverse, rotating cast. If you would like to find any of my game design work, you can find it at austin-ramsey.itch.io. This evening, I am joined by, of course, Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine. My pronouns are she or they. I am playing Dorothy, the Unborn Mage, and I'm here to show you that you don't need fat clouds to be radical.
Also with us this evening is Sasha.
Just gonna breeze right over that one. All right. Hi, I'm Sasha. My pronouns are NNs, and I'm playing the tree lady, one of the tree ladies, Madam V, who's a Lancer shooty person.
Thank you very much. And of course, last but not least, we also have Hadrian.
That's me. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Viper, the other tree lady and martial artist, and vape rights activist. Get off my case, Grandma.
All right, then.
It's canon now.
Okay. Y'all have thrown me off my game.
Good.
So
I made my therapist cry yesterday. I'm on Who's Very Powerful.
What? Damn.
go. She gone.
Fucking agent of chaos, Christine.
This is a strong ass start coming back after a week off.
Yep. All right. So while I fix the layout.
Vape Nation can't keep me down.
So while I fix this, why don't y'all recap what happened last session?
We started. We went all Greenpeace on the sea demons' asses, and we freed a bunch of whales.
Which is gonna go really. It's gonna pair really nicely with the fact that the Sea Devils now live in the Creche, where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to have that be an international incident. Our first time out of port. Super glad. I should have. You know what? It's on me. It's on me. I should have known. I should have put guns on the ship. I should have known that we were going to war. And I apologize for that.
Well, to be fair, we were decolonizing the place.
That is true.
Yeah.
Strong point.
Still doesn't mean you have guns on your ship.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to know what we're decolonizing it with. Precisely, exactly, specifically.
I mean, also y'all didn't have the money for ship-based weapons, because also I don't think any of you have proficiency with siege weapons, which are their own categories. So,
Well, I feel like the tree people could just use them as regular weapons.
I mean, rules-wise...
there are rules for that, I am absolutely sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have looked at it. It is possible for a root walker to dual-wield battering rams if you take the right feats and tricks and whatnot.
That's very good.
Yeah. So yes, y'all are very close. I'm going to take us over to the play screen so we can see the map. Y'all are right close to the Creche and the infrastructure that has been built up inside of it. And as a reminder, there have been these sort of artificial coral bars that have been grown to create, I guess, like a bit of a harbor type thing around the Creche that it is possible for the ship to navigate into if you're so inclined, but it's going to take some knowing about where those are, because they're not like poking up high out of the water, right? You can catch glimpses of them. Or, of course, you could find somewhere else to land the ship, because this is a galley, which means that it can be beached if necessary.
Yeah, I'm thinking this might need to turn into an approach from land, just for the general safety of the crew.
Mm-hmm. That was another thing that happened last session, was that 3 of your crew died. Amel died, Zalv died, and Rigsy died in the conflict with the Sea Devils. So... what? So, Hanar comes up to you, V, and says, "What are your orders, Captain?"
I'd like a meeting, please, in my quarters.
All right. Who do you need me to bring?
I need, let's see. I will need, Dorothy there. I will need, Viper there. I will need probably a couple of the other people that we said were important.
Those were Maybell and Baramy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Call them the officer's crew, whatever.
Aye, Captain. And she...
Does Hanar know that Dorothy's here? That there's a Dorothy on the ship?
Was that the name you picked? I forget.
No, Dorothy just sort of appeared fully.
But what does bigger Dorothy go by?
Dorothy.
Yeah. Well then, yeah, she does use the Dorothy.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So Hanner's going around rounding up people. It's probably asking if anyone's seen Dorothy, which I think reaches your ears, Dorothy. Since
I'll cast the spell. Disguise.
You should lose 1 grade of Tainted at this point, since I believe you last had 3 or so.
Yeah, now I have 2.
Yeah, okay.
Disguise. Right, sorry. 22. So I disguise myself, hopefully convincingly, and I am tainted again. It's everything's fine.
Okay. So yes, Hanar. Do you find Hanar, or does Hanar find you?
We find each other.
Okay.
I look sick.
So she rounds up all the officers and brings them into the captain's quarters, V, where I guess you've set up shop, apparently.
Yeah.
Actually, that's an interesting question.
Everybody keeps calling me Captain.
It has been a day. I guess V is sleeping in the captain's quarters. Oh yes, we did go over that because you've got your little planter's box. Viper, where were you sleeping again? Just wherever?
Basically.
Yep. Okay. And we all know Dorothy doesn't sleep. So that's not a concern.
It's my watching time.
Doing all my good
Didn't like that. Wasn't into that one. Ah, jeez.
Everyone is here,
Mm-hmm.
and they all look to you, V. You called this meeting after all.
Wonderful, fantastic, absolutely excellent. So we have a couple of options ahead of us. Judging from how the last encounter with the Sea Devils went, it seems like we want to murder them for the most part and set free the whales that have been enslaved, perhaps conscripted, probably just enslaved.
Jeremy says, whales?
Whales, yes. That's what the Creche is for. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
Possibly a point of complication is that we did let a ship of theirs go ahead of us, who saw us murder 2 of their ships.
Yes, I suspect we won't have the element of surprise in that regard, says Maybell.
Or of diplomacy, I suspect.
Yes, I was wondering if murder is the first option we should go for. Or if we could try to educate them. It's hard, we don't have their language.
There's no educating sea devils anyways, Ms. Dorothy, says...
Have you had a conversation with one?
She taps the cutlass at her hip and says, aye.
Viper punches the table. We don't have to kill them, but they're leaving before I do.
You get to plant your roots here?
Viper, I'm thrilled to hear how exactly you intend to drive out. I genuinely, on the edge of my seat, would love to know. What's the plan?
I'm still brainstorming.
What's Viper's intelligence? Just out of curiosity. And wisdom, for that matter.
Yes, high wisdom.
Okay, intelligence is 12, but wisdom is 17.
Fair, okay.
So we have a couple of options. We can...
Stubbornness is like 20.
Yeah. Easily. We do have a couple of options. We can beach the ship and try to make a go of it by land. We can see if the whales will guide us through the coral safely to get to the ship, to the settlement. We can go back for reinforcements and do this, have ourselves a real war.
I don't think we should take them by sea. As comfortable as I am in the water, that's going to go poorly for everyone else here.
Yes.
I think our last encounter made that abundantly clear.
Simply a difference of experience by lifetimes. Yes. So that leaves us land or a how to put it, regrouping.
Well, they both, again, Dorothy has a regular pitch when in disguise. Well, I mean, there's plus and minuses to both. If we leave and get reinforcements, we will have reinforcements. However, we're going to have to deal again with people who are viciously intending to board us. And also we will give them time to group and perhaps prepare for an attack. And if we attack now, we might catch them off guard, especially if we're attacking on land, or we may be understaffed.
We are understaffed. Let's not mince words there.
Depends on how many people. Well,
Yeah.
depends on how you count the people. We may have lesser numbers, but I feel like we're greater in power.
To be clear, it wasn't obvious the size of the settlement because most of it is underwater. You can see stuff poking up above the waves, but like it's not clear if this is like a town or just like an outpost. It's not a full city, that's for certain. I would say it's probably, I mean, like I said, it's very hard to estimate just how many structures are in this community, but it's probably no more than 100 buildings at most. And it could definitely be as few as the like half dozen that are poking above the water or that you can catch glimpses of.
Now, Viper, you can speak to the whales, correct?
Mhm. Yes.
From what I've read, whale song can travel quite far. Could you perhaps make an alliance with the whales and set up some sort of jailbreak for them?
Oh.
Because maybe we don't even have to attack. Maybe the whales can come to us and we can free them. Or buck off the riders.
Viper is kind of looking at the ceiling for a second, quizzically, and then she just sort of grabs you and hugs you against her leg and sort of ruffles your hair and says, "Dorothy, you're a genius."
That would be very weird to an illusioned body.
Yeah, I'm mostly curious about what that feels like.
I was gonna say, is it an illusion or is it a transmutation? Like, which school of magic is it in?
I'm looking that up right now. No touch.
Yeah. Because Viper's a touchy-feely person. She's definitely not going to think about it.
Shape-shifting.
It is shape-shifting, okay.
Your luck and that of your immediate possessions changes, granting you disguise equal to your spellcasting. Your appearance reverts if you're knocked unconscious or killed.
There you go. Hair successfully ruffled. Okay, so guess we should try to do this. Can get within whatever arbitrary distance we decide.
Within hollering distance.
Yeah, within hollering distance of the water.
Whale! Get out of there!
So you can, like, get fairly close to the coral bars without any sort of rolls, but I would say that it's unclear whether or not that would be close enough, especially if the coral bars would distort the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the whales that you have freed as established are youths, and ones that have essentially not been raised or educated. So they can't really answer your questions about, like, how close is close enough, or like, have you tried this before?
Yeah, we don't know if this sort of defensive setup is like 100 meters from where they stay, or like 2 or 3 miles.
Oh, well, the coral bars are, like, they are a ways out. They're probably, I would say, like, at least a mile out from the structures you can see poking up. But,
Mhm.
of course, those structures poking up could be at the center of the settlement, or they could
Right.
be the edge of, like, there's a lot of stuff you don't know right now about that settlement.
Hmm. Should be a sneaking mission.
Does anyone have sneak?
That will go
I do.
terribly poorly if Viper does it.
Well, there is, so from what you can see, there is like basically a bunch of trees around the Creche and in the water itself. Like, I think mangroves is that the type of tree that
Yeah,
yeah,
like
like it
the saltwater marsh. Yeah.
yeah, so it basically goes from like a saltwater marsh with trees in it up to, like, it starts to dry out as it goes further inland to drier trees.
Right.
So there is indeed a forest around, and so root walkers technically get a bonus to moving through forests, or at least for blending
Blend in
in.
better there than anywhere else. That is
Yeah.
true.
So that's an option. But yeah, the coral bar is like a mile or so away from the closest structure you can see poking out of the water.
Right. I would say that's probably not close enough. That would take some doing. I'm thinking maybe do an inland approach and take a little dip to get into the water, hopefully closer to where the establishment would be.
Fine.
Maybell says, "Should I prepare any of the crew to accompany you on this expedition?"
One moment. I need to consult the roster again.
I feel like we hired these people on to pilot our ship and not to fight a war. But if people volunteer, then they can do what they wish. That's my personally. I'm not the leader. Don't listen to me. This is my opinion here.
Also, something I don't know if it's been explicitly said, but it's definitely been in my mind, is that the reason everyone is calling Madame V Captain is because Madame V showed up in an opera captain's outfit.
Right. That's
You
right.
dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
They don't know that V technically owns this ship. That's
I just assumed because she had the most presence, and people were like, "Well, obviously."
I mean,
What's that?
all of that is part of it, right? Like, V does technically own the ship.
She's the figurehead of the company.
Yeah, but like a big part of it is that V showed up as dressed as a captain.
Oh, in a little sailor's outfit.
Big sailor's outfit.
Yes.
With the coat and everything, yeah.
And Hanar says, "Well, if none of the crew are going to be coming ashore, how far off should I be keeping the ship, Captain?"
That's a fine question.
And Baramy adds, "Also, will you be needing any supplies for this venture? Do I need to break out some rations?"
I expect that would be wise, at least a day's worth, just in case. Like, who knows what sort of shenanigans. It should, be in and out very quickly, but things generally don't go that way. So,
Okay, so here's some mechanical information.
Sure.
Looking at the map, each hex is 24 miles to move from one hex to the next. So basically, it's going to take you 1 day of travel, assuming, because you all have a travel speed of 30, if I recall correctly, or at least
About-
the slowest. Your travel speed is generally 1/10 of your move speed, but changed to miles. So if you move 30 feet in a round, you should have a travel speed of 3.
What is the travel speed of the riding dog I got? I guess.
I'll let you find that out.
Because if we have Gentleman Moose
We
and
do.
V and Viper ride double, then our traveling speed should be 50 feet. So 5. Our travel speed should be 5 because I imagine Gentleman Moose has a fast traveling speed.
Also has Pathfinder basics. For forest and jungle, of which forest at least we have. And my travel speed increases by 2 miles per hour in that terrain. It's very funny.
So what is Gentleman Moose's travel speed?
His speed is 50 feet on the ground, so 5.
Yep.
And then
Does he have the superior traveler quality, out of curiosity?
has superior runner.
Okay, that's different.
Okay.
All right. It's sort of like superior traveler is like a marathon, and superior runner is a sprinter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So, and Viper, what's your movement speed? I can't remember if you're faster on foot.
35. I'm slightly faster on foot.
Okay. Yeah, so if you double up on Gentleman Moose, then Dorothy's on her dog.
As of
Dog.
yet named dog.
Dog.
Yep.
On dog.
Then the three of you could indeed travel, have a travel speed of 5. So 5 times 8, that's 40. So yeah, I guess you could reach the community inside of yeah, that's just shy of traveling 2 squares in 1 day. So yeah, you can make pretty good time then. So
It'll still be a day there and a day back, probably. So
yeah, especially if you spend some time in the area itself.
it's worth getting maybe three days worth of rations for the journey.
I think you root walkers have lean season also, don't you?
Yeah,
We
we
do.
only need to eat once per day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really the people who are going to be eating are dog, foxglove, and gentleman moose.
Mm-hmm.
And I have animal feed on me.
Okay. All right. So I don't think that food is going to be much of a concern. Not that I thought it was. That was more of just a in-character question. But part of the reason that I brought the travel distances up is also that traveling through forest will have your travel speed. So, I mean, it's still basically like 1 day there and 1 day back. But just giving you a heads up that but except for Gentleman Moose, who is Pathfinder Basics.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So dog will be slower in the forest.
I mean, we could probably all just triple up on Gentleman Moose. Not that like Dorothy and Foxglove are going to.
So Gentleman Moose is very large, but I would not say that he is so large that he can carry 2 root walkers and then also more people. Less of a weight thing and more of a like balance and space thing.
Okay.
So yes. Also, just while we're on the topic, if you travel through mountains, that cuts your speed to 1/3.
Yeah. Good to know.
Okay. So, Bear Me says, if there's not anything else, I will go and fetch the rations for your expedition.
That should do. Thank you very much, Brandy.
Leave my rations out. I'm a very good hunter and can fend for myself.
You want to give
Yeah.
me a bluff?
Yes.
Not that I think Bear...
Fucking 20.
Okay. Yeah. Bear Me
Wow.
gets a 19. So he, like, definitely looks at you, like, doesn't quite buy it, but certainly isn't going to say it. I don't know, he does buy it. You succeeded. I'm not going to take that away. So he buys it, but he's also, like, probably thinking you're probably overestimating how good you are.
We'll see about that. But like a day won't hurt her. Just her pride.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so he takes off. And Hanar says, so how far off from the shore would you like the ship kept, or are we beaching her?
I don't see any purpose in beaching her, unless you have an argument. I suspect having the Quadlibet, you got me, Quadlibet, mobile, is the key here. As the situation develops, it would be good to be able to put the ship where it needs to be, and unless there's a way to do that while it's beached, I suspect keeping it in the water is the thing to do here.
Heard and understood, ma'am. And she says, I'll start preparing the landing boat for you.
Thanks very much.
And she leaves, unless there's something else you need Hanar for.
No, that's good.
And Mabel says, since none of the crew are coming ashore, is there any tasks that you need them prepared for?
I'm looking at the roster again. And it's faster if we don't bring anyone. But there are a couple of people who could be interesting. Greta Falconer is a guide. Who else was
Definitely
there?
good with a bow.
True, very true.
Yes, and as a reminder, any scenes, any challenges that your crew participate in will garner them 1 XP to be added to their stats. So thus far I've just added to increase the attack rating of Ink, Greta, and Hanar, since the 3 of them participated in a battle, but those of course could go into feats or tricks or qualities, whatever is narratively appropriate and or interesting.
On that subject, Ink's explosives and Ahmed's cut purse talents could be an interesting pairing. Depending on what we're doing. Don't have to, but I am floating the options.
Ahmed has more motivation than any of us to fuck shit up right now.
It's very true.
That's true.
I would prefer to be comfortable being myself.
Is that in character or out of character?
It's in character.
Mabel definitely gives you a look but does not say anything.
I'm shy.
Of course. was worth floating the option. I do like the idea of getting in and getting out as quickly as possible. So no, I don't believe we will be freeing any. My computer has to restart in the next 15 minutes. I'm so mad. Yeah. I suppose just have keep it a good lookout. Have the crew prepared for a fight if need be.
Oh, we'll need someone to keep watch that no one tries to reclaim the whales.
I'm gonna speak with those two myself.
Oh, okay.
Yes, protecting the whales is a high priority. So, yes, those are my orders for the crew, I suppose.
Mayville says, "I'll see that it's done," and then she turns to leave.
Thank you, Mabel.
So now it is just the three of you in the captain's quarters.
I'm gonna ask the whales to keep their ears open, and hopefully they'll be able to let the crew know if anyone's approaching. I'm gonna tell them to stay as close to the ship as possible.
Good.
Should probably work out a signal for the crew. Like slapping their tails against the side.
Yeah, figure it out. See
I'm just-
how it's like trying to get toddlers to do things for you right now.
Speaking of, we should come up with some signals for if things go, probably when things go pear-shaped from land.
Who brought flares?
Oh, we could probably check the we should probably check on the explosive expert. Maybe they have flares.
Oh, they might.
So
Or at least you can make them.
maybe related, maybe not. As you can tell from my previous form and some other things that I've been doing, I've been noticing that my access to magic has been getting stronger than it's been since the Godhead has died or reborn or whatever it is that happened. And on one hand, it's really great. I'm excited that I'll be able to potentially, reach my maximum potential. It may just be that I'm getting more used to this body. It's not particularly good at conducting magic, but maybe I'm figuring out ways.
If you're not being polite, dear, what is the problem?
Or it could be that. So, you know how magic is awoken in bloodlines?
Sure.
Okay. Then you know how it can be a bit concerning that my magic seems to be growing. I don't know if that's related or not. And since we're all in the same, we're following each other's footsteps and doing, working towards similar goals, I just want to keep an eye on our goals. Then. Do you know how magic is unlocked in bloodlines?
I don't think we do.
Um, well, I've heard theoretically there's other ways. Um, but the um the way that my ancestors unlocked magic was to commit some atrocities in some people's names, and they were granted powers. And I don't know if that's necessarily the only way, but it's the way that they went for. And now everyone on that bloodline has been given magic and maybe related. People are, no one in my bloodline's alive anymore because of other atrocities that someone else committed. Or maybe it was the same atrocities. Who knows with atrocities, right? So I'm just worried that being able to tap into stronger magic than this body was previously able to tap in is maybe an indication that I'm not doing good things. But again, it could just be I'm more used to conducting magic in this body. But this is just a sign. I think it would be good if we just keep an eye on our behavior and make sure that we're not doing
Committing genocide.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I
Well,
think.
this is a fantastic conversation to have before we go to war with a settlement that doesn't know we're here.
I thought it was a prudent conversation to have. Again, I don't really know. Magic is pretty indecipherable sometimes. But,
Okay.
I love the idea that Dorothy's moral compass is entirely based upon whether or not her magic is getting stronger or weaker.
it's not necessarily. It's just that she's noticed that she's getting power. And usually to get power, you gotta do some questionable things. And she thinks it'd be real great not to do questionable things. But she's willing to do some questionable things.
Up to a point, I suppose.
Yes. So, yeah. I guess just look towards your moral compass often going forward, I think. And I'll let you know if I get any power surges and if that correlates to any sort of behavior. I mean, technically, she does get stronger the more she kills.
Love the D&D history.
I didn't know that we had stuck a paladin on board.
I'm just listen. My entire bloodline is gone. I'm stuck in the body of a fucking doll. Things aren't going great for me, and that's because of the echoes of trauma and torture and death that has existed throughout the history. So I just think it'd be really cool not to do that again to other people.
I'll keep an eye on it.
I mean, I'm not going to start recycling or anything, but come on.
Yeah, let's not be silly.
No.
At least until you learn Raise Undead. Then you'll be recycling.
Oh.
Well, technically I know to raise undead. I just can't do it.
So are we in fact satisfied with the our moral standing on this quest, the righteousness of our cause?
I think it's wrong to keep the whales in captivity and to,
Viper just says good, then we're in agreement.
destroying an intelligent creature's culture is a form of genocide. So I feel like feel like any any evil we commit is for the greater good. In this case,
Love that little knot you tied yourself in. That's beautiful.
Look, we don't have to cut their head off. We just have to knock their teeth out. Some wisdom straight from the punch bowl for you.
And if we can't trust the punch bowl as a moral compass, what can we trust?
I'm gonna go talk to some whales.
You do that.
Okay. Sasha, should we take a break here so you can restart your computer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
Save your audacity right
Sorry.
now. Okay, I'm going to take us to the break screen, everyone. Please bear with us.
we're going to have to take another break later on so that I can give the foster cat insulin.